entertainment for ourselves. Hope you guys are ready for game one of LuluLuvely's Twitch Rivals. Starts now.
I think we're good.
All right, let's get into it. Game one, LuluLuvely's $100,000 throwdown. Rain Day and Tiff here on the mic, and of course Wavepunk hosting us throughout the day. It's such an exciting thing, and one of the things I love about this Tiff, especially these types of tournaments, you get to see competition, but in a way that you never see it in the structured pro league. This new map on display, everyone trying their hardest. It's going to be an exciting day.
It really is, and just seeing how people kind of finesse their teams, considering it was that snake draft style of things. And Lulu, as a captain, the first pickup she gets, Greek. And I don't know if y'all know who Greek is outside of content creation. He played in pro for a little bit, but has been really doing a lot of watch parties and keeping competitive Apex up to date in the best way possible alongside Nicewig. But he's locking in the Vantage. And Rain Day, I don't know if I've seen much Greek Vantage gameplay.
Vantage. Ah, God, what a legend. I mean, just so much fun to play. I think there's never been an issue in wanting to snipe in any type of battle royale or any type of FPS in general. It's always going to have its fans. But when you have a legend that comes out and is a little underwhelming like Vantage, it could be tough to get her where you want her to be, especially with so many other options of our 26 legends to choose from each game. But right now, this season, it feels like she has gotten the buffs that might turn heads for the final time and put her into a position to maybe get a glimpse at pro play. Right now, though, the L-Star getting a glimpse, and oh no, a nice return from Vaxlon there onto our Caustic jumping in, and that looks like it could be Vaxlon by himself now trying to finish off a 3v1, and it is not going to be an easy finish, but he's going to get the job done, it looks like.
And you can see there's one more player up on the roof, and a lot of people are going to be asking what is going on. And anytime you take out an enemy, you get a live ping on where the remainder of those teammates are. So sometimes if you think you just want to go ahead and bleed out, you'll have about a 5 to 10 second counter on that first initial revival. But Vaxlon playing on out, deciding Abe's not going to bleed out just yet. But Dux went ahead and did so. Who's a competitive female player for Luminosity, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen a lot of really strong moments from her, but to kind of jump in here alongside this, good times.
Benefits of playing the Wraith is being able to do this, take the portal, get a little closer, maybe grabbing that banner. Of course, not running any supports. The only support in this game is Mirage, so you're not going to see a lot of supports, Tiff. Sorry to say. Mirage still doesn't have it going for him. Great voice actor, great personality. Just has had a hard time jumping into that high-level meta.
Hear me out. Rain Day, I get bamboozled all day, every day. Mirage is my arch nemesis, but I digress. We see Madness picking up the Ashe, one of the Assault legends that were available for pick, but the vibes seem high here with Giggle and Legendary Doll. Now, Legendary Doll just moved into a whole new streaming setup. It does a lot for her community in terms of the Apex as well, putting on community tournaments and just trying to get everyone involved. And to see this trio come together, I'm pretty excited about it.
She was the winner of community tournament I recently saw. She was also a member of one of the Nessie Cups that we put together as well, one of the Nessie Cup finals earlier on in the year. Legendary Doll, like you said, hosted so many tournaments, a big part of the community, and it's great to see her on display alongside Madness, one of our pros, and LG Giggle Autumn on her favorite and most well-known character, Caustic. Still 20 squads left. This is Revival, of course. So that means that if you do not end up getting the finish, your teammates are going to have a timer allowing them to come back in and join you in play. So it's up to you to be aggressive enough, but not too aggressive. And that's where you're going to see these teams and these players really have to toe the line of trying to finish off these kills and hopefully not overcommitting.
Exactly, and something that we could kind of note here while we're in this revival style gameplay on E-District is the points, right? You're going to get points for placement as opposed to eliminations for the E-District style map. So the onus is on you to go for that aggressive full wipe style play.
Still following them along. 3 kills so far.
They're done, yeah.
And there it is, Madness just talking with his teammates, saying, you know, if they full 3 wipe, they're out, right? Yeah. Just double checking. Could be a little crazy here, but as you see the sights, the neon scene as well. Yeah. Tiff, you know, big picture of this as we go over to Tifa Jessie. We saw her playing in LA as well, next to Fade, a partner for a long time here, and obviously one of the more famous content creators. Won't be in this tournament, but Tifa Jessie, ton of skill to represent as well, alongside Ali and Noko, who lives with Greek. But yeah, just taking a look at the sites here. If you had some time on this map, what's the themology of E-District for those who are just seeing it for the first time, jumping in to the Twitch Rivals and wanting to know what's new in Season 22?
It's really pretty. It's got a lot of angles and a lot of high to low ground where I feel like I'm getting shot at, and it takes me a second to figure out where specifically they're coming from. So that's kind of why I like people picking up those recon legends. Of course, Vantage being the only one available for map number 1. And despite it being a very large map and having some significant choke points, they're very well done. So it doesn't feel like you can survive rotating through a choke point because there's a lot of cover throughout them. So you're like, I can actually take a fight here and not feel like I'm being thoroughly gate kept. Also, Allie, do not jump off the map here. I don't know if you can. I don't want to test it. Like, we don't need Olympus moments right now.
Well, it's one of the things that, you know, every map has its difference. Olympus obviously started to scare you because it could throw you off the map really easily. And you're just like, well, hold on. They actually rearranged some of the railings in that map, as the developers were telling us, because it was happening so often in playtests. Even their own developers were falling off. So obviously those changes have come. E-District, I'm sure they've learned from that and added to it, but it's still possible to get close to some scary edges here as we go along with Evil Toaster, Kitten, and Perfect Lioness. Again, 20 squads still left. Now, you won't have to worry about this aspect of it in round 5 because revival, it happens. You can keep reviving all the way up until round 5, Tiff. That's where it stops. So as much as these players are sitting pretty, not too much to worry about. They will eventually be fighting with only 1 life.
Ooh, not too bad. Back on over to Noko. This time we get to display the Rampart action. And yes, of course, the L-Star in the hands. One of the changes, and we've got more hop-ups for these weapons, and I think the L-Star is the one that takes the gun shield. And as we kind of like rip around the hip-fire chase into the roof, Noko doesn't take too much damage. We've got to be very aware of the angles that could come through from neighboring teams because we do still have all 20 teams up in our lobby.
Great point there as well, Tiff, on the new hop-up. We'll get into that in just a moment. He wasn't using it there, but he did have it available to use. On the other side, Evil Toaster with the Rampart ultimate, just so damaging. You do feel a little vulnerable in this, but not behind your own cover that she's building. So she seems very, very content there. That Rampart run by Evil Toaster. So we'll see if they can continue to hold this area for long. It's going to be okay for the next 46 seconds, that's for sure. And just showing presence. Doesn't want anybody to try to tip into this area and contest them for the spot.
Oh, we're building a fortress at the back of the northern side of E-District here. And another quality of life change that you can see, plus we decided to go with 2 controller legends. You're coupling the Rampart walls alongside the Nox gas traps, which is crazy because the quality of life you were talking about is that your own gas grenades are lit up in red. And something else that they changed is if you hover over at those gas traps or the walls from a distance, you can recall them. You don't have to actually go physically pick them up, which is pretty nice to me.
Controllers had that big conversation, you know, how can we make them, you know, more viable? Are we seeing some of them slip out? Are we seeing other legends, you know, take that role of being able to get the controller information on where the ring will go and suddenly become meta, like Fuse, who was given that option and then became a huge pick for that and a couple of other reasons. Well, you know, Evac Tower is considered. But let's just go to the bigger picture of quality of life. And again, controllers being able to move more freely, being able to sit in zone and not have to take so many L's in the way, because you obviously sacrifice looting and you sacrifice timing. But you've got to be in zone if you're a controller like a Caustic to get your best bet of winning the game. And that's why you get that extra 25 health if you're sitting in zone as a controller legend. So it's going to be a beneficial thing. You see Rampart and obviously the Caustic have that, those passives playing maybe a winning difference for this team.
Ooh, okay. Back on over here to Ali, Tifa, Noko. I mean, this could be a really solid team for sure. I'm very aware of Tifa, and she played a lot of Wraith back in the day, so I was really shocked to see kind of Ali slot in the Wraith as opposed to Tifa playing the Vantage. I feel pretty good. A lot of conservative play, though.
Yeah, I would say sometimes it's just, you know, who feels more comfortable and who feels more comfortable flexing. You know, maybe you're better at a character, but you give somebody who feels totally uncomfortable with the other character you know, a 7 out of 8 now for the Wraith instead of your 10 out of 10 on that Wraith, because you can still play the Rampart at an 8 out of 10. I think that's kind of the conversations that happen. And, you know, these tournaments, you know, there's a social element. Players haven't played together before. You know, hopefully they're being polite. I'll switch off. That's no problem. I think that's part of the dynamic. Everyone's trying to create a good team environment so that they can actually be successful here and win and, you know, not tilt.
Not tilting is very important. It really is,
Yeah.
especially when you kind of look through some of our rosters. And for the most part, we've got a lot of really positive energy streamers and content creators. And, you know, they only get their teams just about an hour before Twitch Rivals. So you don't get a whole lot of time to theory craft and kind of get to know your teammates if you are not aware of them at all. And you kind of jump on board back to this Evil Toaster, Hambino, Perfect Lioness roster. And to see the Sheila from afar, and then you've got Hambino with the P2020, the Akimbo, the newest of the season, and he's got the gold. So the hammer points are on it. This, I hear the sound in my dreams, Rende. When it just starts firing, I'm like, this is my nightmare.
Yeah, I was going to say dreams, you mean nightmares, right? Obviously, the Akimbo, it's been known, any game Akimbo has been in, it's had to be essentially tuned. To be fair, and I think the better part about this is if you're going to do something for a P2020 is, Lulu takes a big shot from a charge rifle there, says it's on me, backs off, sometimes playing a little too close to the fire, and so she's going to take a step back. But with Akimbos, you know, if you're going to do something that features a P20 and a Mozambique, you know, it has its moments, but arguably P20 the least effective and least played gun overall in Apex Legends. You've got to make it sing. You've got to make it special, and you've got to give it a reason to be picked up. So they certainly have done that. Too much so? We'll find out. It's only been a couple of days in this season so far.
Still, the nightmares are coming through. I'm talking about the
But
Mad
Tiff can't
Maggies
sleep, so that's a problem.
that run at me with the Akimbo Mozambiques. I'm just like, am I really getting run down like this? But I talked about it earlier. Our teams are being super conservative here, and I wonder if we're going to wait to have the majority of our squads alive towards that end when that revival is kind of clicked off and it matters to fight the most. But the fun part is seeing all the teams kind of respawn. They're all looking to get towards this next zone where the majority of our teams have already been living and having all the space. So Noko's got the Sheila, sees the portal, and is just ready. He's like, come on, walk out that door.
A lot of big buildings that, unlike World's Edge, just taking a look at this map, you know, being played this way, you have doors that are open. I mean, obviously, they probably kicked off those doors to have these lines of sight, but these little pockets, these little almost like townhouses, these condominiums, so to speak, not these huge, massive buildings. And so it's given this very intricate but very intimate style of play and holding these staircases. I'm enjoying watching. Big shotgun coming as well. Shotgun's a big change in this season. Will they change enough? Greek decides, yeah, that changed enough. I'm not worried about staying in there. He goes right back in and takes too much damage. He's got a shield swap, and he's going to grab it. Smart play. He's going to keep that purple for a minute, but he's going to take a lot of damage here. His teammate shields most of it, but Lulu and Greek and Ella, they're in trouble.
This is where it's so difficult that the only two controller legends you were able to have were either Rampart or Caustic. This is where a Watson would have come into play, and Twitch Rivals, you're keeping things super interesting here. But with Greek on the vantage, swings on out, the gas kind of trips it on up for the player on the outside, but it doesn't even matter. Ash with the tether coming on in.
And grabs the shotgun as well. The pellets, they've been changed. But they still do the same thing. A PK to the dome is going to send you back home. And a respawn in 17 seconds. So the question is, can Lulu of the 100K throwdown with the Akimbo stay alive? And she will go down 17th place. And that will be a reset for Lulu into next game. She will watch this one on. It was an unfortunate push and a tough spot to hold here, Tiff.
Look. We talked about this. It's really unfortunate they went out, but we still have our high vibes content team right here. Doki, Minus Tempo, and Alverlele. But anytime you put Doki Bird and Minus Tempo on a squad together, you know it's going to be one of the best times. Constant laughing, and Alb's going to be just like, can you guys just like come over here? Can we focus?
I mean, you know, Alb's prepping his next tweet, you know, about Apex, and then, you know, those two are just charge rifling somebody. I mean, that's what that trio is ready to do. It's going to be fun, though, as well. A lot of talent. I mean, a lot of experience in Apex. Let's put it that way. Definitely a mixture. That's the fun part about a Twitch Rivals, is you get to see these personalities come together for a common goal. Right now, 16 squads still alive in round 4. When round 4 finishes, no more revive. So this is the last chance to play a little risky. Otherwise, you got to hold your spot.
Oh, okay. Let's do this. Selena here on the screen. Dupe. A little dupe action on the caustic and Imong locking in the Wraith. But, you know, it's kind of interesting. We don't see too many teams locking in for the assault characters, but we already have 1 elim, 4 assists, down to 16 squads. And now you mentioned it, right? We don't see that revival be turned off until after that circle 5 moment, which is about to go underway. So what a nice climb up there with the wingman in hand. PK to finish it. That's a squad wipe down to 15.
Selena hit about 2K damage with that PK. Big changes I've alluded to. The shotgun, it's a good time to mention it. Massive redistribution of the damage on the shotgun pellets. They decided that there were some moments it was too inconsistent. So what do? Let's take away some of those pellets and let's increase the quality of the pellets that we have, giving them more damage, but also fundamentally changing the spread on the Mastiff, on the Evo, on the Peacekeeper, so that they're a little bit more reliable. And obviously, when you do hit, oh, they're going to do damage as well. One goes down. Selena follows as well. It's up to Dupe to try to dupe the opponents sliding in. You can see it from Emong's POV, but that's going to be squad eliminated. No revives. Top 14 for them.
Oh, well, let's check in here. Got Kyrie on the screen, Happy Gal, and Imperial Hal on the Vantage. All right, love to see that go through. We just lost out on another squad, but have no fear. Still 12 left, and we've got a nice position here inside the next circle, which you know a lot of teams are going to want to play for. So keep an eye on keeping those Nox gas traps out in the front. But anytime you got Hal on your squad, I'd be a little nervous. So we're talking the IGL coming through. He's going to get vocal.
Yeah, he is. But he's, going to have a good sense of what he needs to do to win the game. That's what's made him, the winningest player outside of Zero and Reps in the world in terms of trophies lifted for Apex Legends professionally. He knows how to win. And so you're in a good spot. You've gotten to that position. I'll tell you, these tournaments, it's so hard to get to top 10. But once you do, you got a chance. So Evil Toaster here, just staying on that high ground. They've been in the same spot this entire time. It's like they locked in on a 2% mortgage, and they're like, I'm not moving.
Mood.
You know what I'm
That's
talking about,
a mood
Tiff.
for real. I know exactly what you're talking about. My house is the best house. I'm never leaving it. I love it. But no, for real though, if the circle pulls directly on top of you, to be able to call that alongside your controller legends that obviously have access to the ring consoles, giving you that next zone information, the boost being in that zone. But even with E-District just being out for just a few days, we're calling zones to perfection. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, this is what it takes to be playing at this level. And these players, it may seem like some of them are streamers to you, but even to compete and just stay at this pace with pros IGLing you, it is one of the hardest things to do. Even if you've put in thousands of hours of Apex, it's just the timing thing. You got to do things quicker. You've got to make decisions faster. You've got to be more clinical in the way that you operate in terms of looting, in terms of moving. Half a step means that you are the one that's going down first and you let your whole team down. So there's pressure. And it's not just for the IGLs. It is for those streamers that maybe don't play competitively outside of a Twitch Rivals. They want to do well. They don't want to be the reason that they've lost the game. And so this is competition, no matter how you say it. We're having fun. We are having a good time. But, hey, this is $100,000 on the line. You definitely want to do your best.
It really do, but you got to get through the rampart walls. Sheila's in the back, and Legendary Doll is like, I will take the mantle. I will chow this. Madness with a swing. Another squad wipe comes through, and this squad has been doing so well in terms of navigating this, but Madness does get punished from that stairway side of things, but Legendary Doll on 5 elims. We're about to be in top 5, and we're already kind of crawling up with the walls to try and section off a piece of land around here.
Gonna be a good spot, I think, to try to approach from. They're going to have a lot of people's eyes on them. That's the benefit of this spot right here, though. Evil Toaster, perfect line is placement, certainly on the board, and that could go a long way. Just getting a top 5 in one of these games is going to be beneficial overall in terms of the score. So they lost Good Kitten. They just need to kind of stay out of sight here, out of mind. Play small, because no one's going to try to push them here. They just do not want to get taken out here. They want the POVs to search towards somebody else. They find a little bit of a car, throw one wall down, another one. Evil Toaster, he's got a shield battery, can try to survive, but it's going to go down. Unlucky right there, Tiff.
Tried so hard. I even loved that we were getting the rampart walls down with utter quickness, but it's just not enough. Now let's see what confusing QT can do. Waits on the portal, gets around here.
Oh, wow.
Burholz now. We are just threading the needles of all the chaos and let those frag grenades sing.
This is going to work. This is going to work. No one's looking at her. One big 100 has got to hit with a 30-30. So difficult, and they'll go down. Team 1 is the champion. Not quite sure who it is.
It's like
But
Kyrie.
what a win.
Okay, that's really annoying that we don't get KP though.
They hate to see it. I mean, look, I love to see it. What do you mean? If Kyrie comes through with Hal and takes a win.
Get into it and see who's able to take down that victory royale.
You know, Tiff, it's actually a good point. Why don't they just run trick plays every single time in football? It'd be a lot more fun to watch, in my opinion. And,
Yeah, please.
gosh, I mean,
Make it interesting.
the defense would be like, not again, right? They can't do that fake again.
Wait, someone
And
They
they'd be
can't
like,
keep
yes,
getting
we
away
can.
with this.
Win or lose.
Is that a mirage? Is that a mirage? That might be mirage. No,
Oh, look at this. Hear me out. Is that a mirage? No, there's only Conduit or Lifeline in this pick here for World's Edge. And this was a squad that I thought would take advantage of one of those hot zones. Well, Kyrie, Hal, Happy Gal, your winners of map number 1. From my understanding, their comms have been absolutely hilarious, Rain Day.
Yeah, I mean, they're talking a lot. You know, conversation, clearly not something that they're lacking in this one. And Hal is, you know, he's a conversationalist himself. Obviously, he's going to be talking about how to win in most circumstances, but he'll have some fun with it. Maybe Happy Gal and Kyrie bringing some lightheartedness out of the CEO, as many call him, and the Catalyst, Fuse, and Bloodhound choice as well. Tiff, this is our first look at just the legend composition that this team ran. How you feeling about it? I think the Fuse makes sense for me. Hal playing that just competitively for this last season, so he's very comfortable on the legend. But Catalyst, Bloodhound, good associates there to go to battle with.
I think it makes sense for World's Edge more in particularly, especially with Catalyst being that only controller legend available, so you can get that ring information. And Kyrie definitely feeling comfortable on that. Happy Gal, especially locking in the recon so you can get access to the survey beacons and where people are going.
I'm ready to go.
And I think I just heard Hal say, he's just like, you know what, let's just loot and let's get a move on. Let's just kind of focus up. But they're over in Climatizer all the way to the north. We know World's Edge likes to pull south for the majority, unless it's a northern Skyhook zone.
Yep.
But it looks like they got a long way to go.
Well, if that's going to be the case, then yeah, getting a move on is a good idea. Most of the time, if you're unfamiliar with Apex, or especially these tournaments, you're going to have your IGL, whether it's Hal, you know, whether it's Designful, say, grab a controller. Designful this time says he's on the controller. That way they can see where the zone is going to go. So important, a big job. It was a job that, you know, playing in a little tournament of mine, 50K oversight that I saw run by Minus Tempo, I had a chance to be that character, and you know, I was very much directed on exactly how and when I needed to get that scan done. It is a big part of it, and obviously they're going to now know that that zone could be at least partially where they are, as Mono Morg on the Valkyrie, a legend we have not seen in a long time in high-level play, but mobility, movement, it's going to be helpful, especially if they want to rotate pretty quickly here and get a skyward dive, which should be up in about 17%.
Yeah, and something to note here, they went for the hot drop, right? They went for the points. And I thought we saw maybe a Spitfire in action for some of our players as well, but through the balloon, Designful, a late call there to pop on off, taking that damage, so Model Morg kind of following suit. Honestly, I've been really excited. Like, I follow Model Morg on social media and like her journey and stuff through content creation in Apex, but she lives up to her name. She is also a model.
She's a model, yeah.
She talks about all like the projects that she's going out for and kind of her journey throughout that. And I think it's just another really cool aspect when you kind of start sharing more of your life into content creation and your streams. And so I'm always like happy to see her doing well, you know?
I mean, gamers are people too. I think that's an element. There's so many facets of what we do in our work that is seen on screen and that people know a lot of these content creators buy. But there's also this other element when you peek behind the curtain of other parts of their lives that they're fascinated by, whether it be making music, whether it be voice acting, in such cases yourself, Tiff, or, you know, whether it be soccer, writing books, whatever it is, there's so many elements to this. So Twitch Rivals, it's less of the competition where we have to only focus on the gun skill and the points that they earn. You know, we get to talk about the points that they might have earned in real life as well, which is also very exciting and a realistic thing every now and then.
Exactly. And I love that we get to kind of highlight that throughout here. But you got Kyrie here over at Survey Camp running into some issues. Now, this is your map 1 winners. Oh, hey, there's a frag for Duncan. You got 19 more? You got 19 more, my man?
I think he does have 19 more, honestly. Don't worry about it. He's at least got 1 more.
There we go.
Hal getting 10% of the goal done here, but can they hold? That's the question. They are against the zone. This is a dangerous spot for anyone to be. Even world champions and winners of game 1 like Imperial Hal, Kyrie and Happy Gal not having time so far to hit any of the healing, or maybe just not having the resources as well. Catalyst wall goes down, and that's Kyrie's for the most part. Gives them a little bit of safety as they rotate up over near Epicenter, but keeping an eye to the left of that team, which is now by the beacon, the balloon. Gonna be tough. Hal will survive this, but that wall is about to come down, and will he survive the next couple of shots? That is the question.
Oh, I don't even know how we're alive here. Happy Gal, I'm curious. That syringe, we're going to be so close to popping that, perfectly timed, but not when you go ahead and take more damage like that. It's inevitable.
He needs to hit this med kit. I think hit the med kit, and then you could sweep everybody, because they're all taking damage as well. They are all taking damage. Kyrie seems okay. Hal just saying, be confident. Get the finish. Let's get KP on the board. He's looking good. Happy Gal. Not going to be able to get revived unless they go to a beacon and grab that banner. Kimbo's to shut him down. They'll grab that banner as well. Tiff, that was a well-managed fight there by Hal and Kyrie.
It really was. Not a full squad wipe just yet. And you can see that they had a lifeline on their roster. So Giggle Autumn doing the right thing, just focusing, getting into that next zone, maybe find a replicator to craft Madness and Legendary Doll and make that full reset. Oh, no heals? Oh, no. It ends here.
Does it? Yeah, it does. It ends with us. Just saw that last night with my wife as well in the theater. Never had so many tears in a theater, recent memory as well. But it was a good show, and obviously this one is going to be, unfortunately, be the theme for Giggle. As she goes down, they will lose that fight ultimately, and Hal and Kyrie may not get the KP, but they will eventually knock one of the teams out of this lobby. There is no revival automatically, so they would have had to do a lot of work to stay alive and get that one done just as a solo. As we take a look over to Greek, Lulu and Twitch, this time opting Lulu for the lifeline. But let's switch over to some action here, Tiff, as Alberlelli and Minus Tempo are getting into it, having lost Doki already.
Doki down. Al running the Spitfire, though, so we've got that boosted weapon for extra points. And I love that we've got the overlook while Minus goes for the res onto Doki. Still, Fuse allowed to put a ton of pressure, especially on these angles. The Renok coming on through. We stick this, right?
Yeah, you stick this. Probably a long-range push. Question is, you don't want somebody to come over. He drops the shield just in case. It's easier. He's got health. She doesn't have any health or shield, so he drops the shield. It's kind of best use of resources there for both squads as he hits a shield battery and then can move on and get his teammates up and around, but still under pressure. You could tell this is just very different tone, Tiff, than what we saw in E District. A lot more movement. This zone pulled pretty south for a lot of these teams, so you're seeing, a lot of not a lot of stability in buildings quite yet.
Oh, definitely. And this is one of those squads we were talking about at the top of show, right? Timmy, Janie, Bad Gal Shay. Bad Gal Shay, knowing that Fuse is in that list of Legends picks for map number 2, immediately going to slot that in. Has a lot of experience on Fuse, but doesn't look like we're in the best situation. Already lost out on Janie. We don't really have attachments for our Hemlock. And while we are on the south side of World's Edge trying to get into that next zone, it's just not ideal, right?
No. I would say it's interesting, too, the Octane pick from Timmy. Not quite sure why he thought that Octane would be a little bit better for him and his squad. I could see him playmaking a little bit more on a few of these characters. But again, I think when you go down to it, if you've got the Bloodhound and the Fuse, if he doesn't want to play a Catalyst, well, then there you go. And obviously Fuse can pick up the control. So basically getting the perk that Controller Legends have to see where that ring is going to be. So it's just opts for a little bit more speed, a little bit more movement. And Timmy is known for his movement and his incredible skills. So Octane maybe letting him make some more individual plays and get out of dodge easy.
I can see that. Definitely the movement legend, but popping over here to confusing QT. They've got a conduit. Oh, yeah, definitely do. It's fully kitted out for the most part. Love a better mag, but when you've got a blue mag on a Spitfire and you get 45 bullets, like that thing will just shoot for an eternity.
It really will. It's like a full season and a half of you know, what they're giving us now for some of these anime, man. I'm like, come on, 10 episodes. What are we doing here? I can't wait for another year and a half. But this is obviously also a shout out to that new hop up as well, which is, you can kind of see the shield. It's nice. It doesn't really disrupt your display. You see it pop up right there as well for Good Kitten. I mean, does this bring LMGs back, Tiff?
For the map. It does for the map. I love this, right? Hambino being a little legend there, naming themselves Good Kitten Uwu, and I'm just like, oh wait, here we go. This is the first time you get to see that mythic supply crate.
Wow, yes, mythic supply crates coming in. A lot of changes. Season 22, I mean, it is a season of a lot of changes. If you're not caught up with everything, we don't blame you. We're trying to explain it as it comes for those who are watching it. Timmy and Janie and Bad Gal Shay go down. A little NT from Timmy. Not a ton of excitement. It's, you know, got to keep that energy up. It's not
They
going to
were
be
kind of in
easy, though.
shambles,
Yeah.
so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I will say this roster, you know, Evil Toaster is the captain here for Hambino and Perfect Lioness. They've been getting themselves into some really solid positions. So jumping up here, top of this kind of bridge area on the outskirts of Lava Siphon. Sure, it's on the edge, and you can just see where we got a player, Hambino, kind of roaming, looking for elimination since they actually count here. And if you got the Devo,
Yeah.
this is solid.
Wonderful. And, you know, you got an LMG as well. So all intents and purposes should take advantage of that shielding. So that Devo going to be important. Abe, running with the RE45. It's got that blue mag with 23, as I mentioned, getting an upgrade, but it is not a weapon to 2v1 as easily in a situation like this. Fast spray, very good at bursting a teammate down, but managing to with high bullets, it's a little tough, and especially when someone like this, Designful with a wingman, made his name on this one, playing controller for G2 Esports. Now on DSG, Design trying to finish it off here. Doesn't want to let him through. Hits one, misses the other, and almost goes down.
I'm a little worried here. I thought we'd be connected more, especially once I saw that wingman in the hand of Design. So good comms on that. You know, if they win this map, I feel like I need to go put on my Designful shirt with the Design rant on the back of it, right? I was
You
curious
have
what
one
the
of
comms
those?
were. I did. It was like one of the first shirts and merch I picked up over in LA.
Atlanta. Wow. Well, Tiff's a memer. You could tell. She's all about it. And, you know,
I'll tape it. You
yeah,
know, it's fine.
I wish you would have worn it. We were talking in rehearsal, you know. We're going to wear the Apex shirts. Caleb was making us jealous, waving his esports shirt as well from Duncan. All right, I would have expected to hear about that. Hambino named himself Good Kitten. You know, always throwing the commentators off with the name change as well. But so far working. 3 kills, 1 assist, 15 squads left. Again, I told you how hard it is. You can see how much these teams have had to fight to get into even the top 15, let alone top 10. Hambino should be going out here. It's a great zip line jump, but can't quite nail the slide and will fall down immediately.
Oh no, shambles for all of our teams that were looking to be in solid positions. The last we saw of Evil Toaster on that bridge, looks like someone made a move for them. They get wiped. We come on over to Design's team, and it's Model Morg last standing. But look who is still up and doing well. One of the teams that went out first on that E-District revival for map 1, well, it's none other than Captain LuluLuvely. They've got eliminations, they've got the Spitfire in hand, and there is that gun shield generator for the Spitfire as well. And we're looking poised. Even Greek coming in with the comms. Good job. That's the hype we really need.
I'm dropping this.
Is the hype we need, and we need them to keep throwing just a few more grenades here, folks. Reminder about today's Duncan Challenger Cup. We're looking for players to throw 20 total frag grenades in today's event, and when that happens, the first 8 people to drop the hashtag Duncan Promotion in chat and fill out the form will win free Duncan coffee for a year. The next 875 people will also win some free coffee as well, so stay ready. Just keep eating, folks. We're almost there, streamers. You're doing a great job.
I'm jealous. I got some free coffee, but I can't access it right now. I got to go downstairs to get that thing. So maybe during a break,
We have
you have a
coffee at
chance. We have coffee at home, exactly. Yeah, we'll be okay. But
It's not Dunkin' coffee, though.
it's not Dunkin'. That's the thing. It ain't Dunkin'. So get on it. keep an eye on these grenades as well. Lulu will hope that they're the ones throwing them this time and not receiving them. As we take a look at We the People and his squad, Valkyrie, Fuse, and Catalyst holding up this building. This is a great spot for them, especially with the legends that they've got. Tons of pressure from the Valkyrie. You've got that burst on the Q that she can apply. And Catalyst holding down these barriers of these entrances. I'm liking We the People squad here in their position so far.
I do love it as well, but your map one winners, hey, they're getting in. They're looking to clean some things up. I saw one squad wipe, and now we get another. Here comes the Catalyst wall
Aggressive.
from Kyrie. Hal super low. We lose out on Happy Happy Gal. We need to stabilize out here in the open, and we've got his and hers live. Mina, Keon, denying them any chance at going forward.
Yeah, it's a good team here as well. I saw Kyrie. They were starting to feel it. You could tell that was an aggressive Catalyst wall, normally used defensively to block off a line of sight. She was blocking off the team that was running, saying, you want to run, you're not going to be able to go any farther. Stay here and let us get that KP. So Imperial Hal and his squad looking to go back-to-back on E-District and now in Game 2 on World's Edge. Another Catalyst Valkyrie lineup, this time with the Lifeline. And if they reached that high level, they'll be able to have that gold knockdown shield. As we head over to Yanya. 2 kills, 1 assist so far, fighting at the base of tree. That might have been We the People's team who they were going against here. Now have a pretty good spot, a little outside his zone, but high ground and plenty of flexibility to move.
Nice.
I hear Cresta out there getting vocal, and I love to hear that. I mean, Lulu at the top of the show was talking about how she got a lot of those ladies, those girlies in competitive Apex, and it is paying off.
Yep, dude, I keep walking.
Yanya. Went by many names in the Apex scene. You would expect him to hit a couple of those shots. He does. One down. Yanya moves backwards just a little bit, trying to get the right angle on the team running through or around that Catalyst wall. Dark Veil providing a little bit of respite for that squad, but not enough. That team looks to maybe lose one more as well. So close to going down. Yanya, he sees the opportunity. 4 kills now. 6 squads remaining. Gonna turn and peek, and that's 2 more for Yanya as well from Team Liquid Alienware. Looking to make a move here in this Game 2 of Twitch Rivals.
I mean, he's got like 50 bullets left. We don't have anything. There's no energy. We have 33 left in the flatline, but we are making the most out of what we've got. Yanya's like, I don't even need a loot, bro. Let me just go. On 7. Can he get double digits by the end of this now that we're into the top 4?
How many kills can he get off this magazine? We saw it live. It was in London. It was Zane who got 3 kills, 1 mag. So far, he's going to have to get a reload. 17 bullets, not doing too much. He's looking for the ammo here. He's going to find a little bit of it. Look at that zone. It's hurting, almost kills him. He's got to be very, very careful, but he's out of ammo. That's the problem. Asking his teammates.
Fuck, I got knocked. Come inside.
Hard part is we need an MNK player to loot for our controller legends. But yeah, you were talking about We the People here alongside NVY.
Yeah.
Envy is that team captain coming in for Twitch Rivals. She plays on Team Insomnia as well, and they found themselves in a good position. But checking in, Keon over here.
Yeah, just side back down.
Keon and his and hers lives in mind. We've seen them kind of control this southern side. They've stepped their way up. We know Yanya's team is still alive as well as NVY's team with We the People. So at least 3 of those rosters. Will that be the end of one? No, it's just a knockdown. Big stuff from Keon on the devotion. He'll slide. Hit the shield battery. 1 kill will go down to his name. Look at this. Could be easy pickings for Keon. He's got the line of sight there. The Nemesis should be enough to clean it up. That's 1 down as well, but they lose his and hers live. So now Keon's got a decision. Go back there, try to get the res, or do we just play it as a 2?
Especially when you jump on over here to Ava Lee down. And looks like the full is coming through. Does Yanya have ammo here? Because we have player advantage. We have all 3 up. We're sitting on red shields. And Crest Up has that boosted weapon of the Spitfire with the gold mag.
Massive.
Let the mother load saying you're going to get the information on where the players are. And it is connecting.
3 squads left. Team 13, who was down below, gets killed as well. This should be Team Liquid Alienware, Yanya, Fire Dragon, and Crestep cleaning it up. They have got a ton of kills, and they're peeking over with the Spitfires as well. They're going to count for double, so the 2 for 1. Crestep is all about the value, and they will get it. Game 2 goes their way.
Beautiful comms.
Let's go.
Yeah, I didn't
Well
have any
done.
bullets there. I just took everything.
It's going to be an exciting one.
They're all just going to Lotus.
Game 3 as we jump into E District for the second out of 3 times. We'll visit this map across 6 here in LuluLuvely's $100,000 Apex Legends Throwdown. One of my favorite formats as well, specifically because while the winners, they get $2,500 each. Even if you are participating, you're going to walk away with, I believe, over $1,000 in cash today. It's a beautiful thing. It's a great format. We've seen a lot of 50Ks for Apex, but this 100K, Tiff, it means that, you know, the creators who are putting their time in, who are competing, they're all going to walk away with something, and that's very Apex community, you know?
Yeah, it's so kind. Like, that's so much cash in general spread out through the Apex community that could really help people. Plus, you're having a good time. And similar to what Lulu said in that interview early on, she's like, we are trying to highlight people specifically from this community that might just need that extra stroke of luck to work on building their brand. Because mind you guys, if you find maybe your new favorite content creator or streamer here from this LuluLuvely Apex Throwdown, that's kind of what it's all about. It's the vibes and finding like fun spaces and communities that you want to be a part of.
And as Wave had just been telling us, it was a great distinction here for our Battle Royale E-District maps. We're going to have eliminations from those special weapons. So you're still going to get placement. But if you're rocking the G7 or the Akimbo P2020, I mean, insane level of incentive to do it, because obviously we know while you can only get 12 points for first, a lot of times the best teams end up with 25, 30 points added to their tally. That's because of elimination. So here you kind of got to decide, am I going to risk it all or be a little bit more conservative, play for placement, and use some weapons that I know are going to get the job done?
Exactly, that G7 Scout, Akimbo P2020. The best way to find some of that is going to be getting in those mythic bins, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, you grab the gold version weapon of what you are running at the time of opening the bin. So if you open it with a normal P2020, there's a very good chance of getting a gold version of that weapon, which would be pretty crazy. But then we jump on over Johnny Price. Now, Rain Day, you know who Johnny Price is. First time captain in Twitch Rivals. This is the guy that if I'm not mistaken, was solo queuing in ranked or just trying to do nades only and got up to, I believe, diamond by just throwing nades.
We've had some insane challenges. You know, Johnny Price, again, earlier I found out about his stream as he participated in the Nessie Cup that I had thrown alongside Girl and Daz. We had 3 $50,000 tournaments and a $100,000 tournament to finish off. He was a part of all of those, got hosted at the end, you know, kind of became familiar with his stream, the old Shrek in the background as well. I mean, you got to give a shout out. DreamWorks doing their thing back then. Man, those Shreks, they were there. I rewatched them recently. Some of the funniest animated movies we have ever had the privilege of having created for us. But when you really look at streamers like this, yeah, Johnny being a captain now, it's great progression. And he knows how to play the game. You know, taking on challenges, trying to get to Masters with grenades. A lot of people like me just try to get to Masters. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people out there, just grenades. I mean, what's going on?
Look, I gotta take a note out of their playbook. I don't think I've ever even tried to grind a Masters. I think the highest I've ever been, Rain Day, is like Diamond 2. So I was getting close. Yeah. So maybe one day you and I will link up. After this, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
I believe it, Tiff. I mean, we got the determination as well. You know, all busy people, and one of the benefits is they do get to play a good amount. But also for us, we get to watch this game a good amount as well and talk about their achievements. So awesome things to keep the conversation flowing. Still 20 squads left. This is what we saw last time. It was about, 17 squads left in round 3 or 4. The revives are going to make a big impact on that. And here you go. I like the way Sheaf, as we have a chance to take a look at his stream, Sheaf GG is rocking this. He's got the G7 Scout. Those are going to give him the elimination points for kills. It's a great weapon, Tiff, for KP, because you could be from such a far distance and impacting all the fights happening around you, especially with that 2 to 4 times scope. A great weapon for KP. And then a flatline, a comfortable, great assault rifle that, it's not going to score him those bonus points in this round, but it's going to help him get kills to stay alive.
Exactly, right? Maybe you weaken him up with the flatline and go for a last bullet or two with the G7 Scout, just not a hip fire, because everything falls apart the moment you start hip firing the G7 Scout.
At least for me. That's for sure. Hip fire, it's kind of an interesting topic as well. The biggest topic around hip fire has been the Havoc. And the Havoc is notoriously, if you're just kind of joining us, you might be watching, checking out Apex. Haven't played in a minute. We got a new season. It's changed a lot of things. It's shifted our weapon meta quite heavily as the Havoc and the Hemlock became the two driving forces in the universe for Apex. If you didn't have them, you were getting taken down by them. And the hipfire was one of the biggest things. And the magazine has gone away. The hipfire has significantly been increased in terms of its variability on that. So it's not going to be as easy. But right now, we're starting to see it's Timmy and Bad Gal Shay alongside Janie find a few kills and maybe get their rhythm on as they get 2 and are still alive and will stabilize here.
Was hoping to see them with maybe some of those boosted weapons, but quite frankly, they're not. So we need to see kind of based on placement. But Janie locking in the Pathfinder, knowing that that's the only skirmisher legend that you can play on this third map. And remember I said, you know, I've seen some crazy clips that Janie was able to throw down. Well, she was locking in on the path and had a sentinel in hand and was just grappling, sniping. And I was just like, I want to be like Janie one day when I grow up. And so far that hasn't happened, but at least I get to cast over her gameplay.
She's really, really great. She was in LA. I think we ended up seeing her in London. There was a time where the entire TSM crew, their professional girls team, when they had that signed with Girl and Janie, Avalee, they were all around. And of course, obviously representing with the TSM guys at that time, Reps, Verhulst, and Hal, and all their content creators. It's great to see the way TSM rolls and just such support in the Apex Legends scene for so many different disciplines. I love, though, that she's still rocking Hemlock Havoc. The question is it a mistake, do you think? Or is it just, it can't be a mistake if you're comfortable with it. Even if it's got its mag nerfed, even if it's got its hipfire nerfed, even if they got the mag size of the Hemlock nerfed this season, it's just comfort right now. It's been 2 seasons of essentially playing only these guns, Tiff.
It really has, and I thought we would see some differentiating things come through, and maybe we'll just have to wait and see, because the majority of people I know are out there dual-wielding those Mozambiques as we come on over here to Baby Nikki, Boom Razzle, Girl. You know, Girl won the last Twitch Rivals event that we had, kind of Nice Wigs rendition of it alongside Jen Burton and Mr. Keem. Maybe we get a little bit of luck. Granted, we haven't necessarily seen too much out of them yet. They're 14th overall moving into the back half of our series after this. But this is where you get that comeback, right?
This is hopefully where you do. I think this is one of those maps where people are going to have, you know, there's going to be some opportunities to catch up on people as well. You've been watching the Olympics, you know, on that turn, you build up a little bit of speed and you can push yourself ahead a few places. That's something where I think in E-District it's going to serve for our teams who are maybe a little bit behind on the final stretch, because some players are going to be indecisive. They're going to go, well, I want to get the kills with the G7, but can I fight with the G7 P20? I haven't really played Akimbo yet. So let me just rock the Hemlock. And if you're confident enough, if you can make a move where your team gets very clear, we're going for bonus, we're going to have one player be our front line, you know, maybe rock some ARs, and then the rest of us are going to finish off these kills. I mean, you can make a massive comeback here in E-District. So I'm hoping that for Girls team and Boom Razzle and squad, we'll see if they can continue, stay alive with still 19 squads left, and I think round 2 getting ready to close.
It is, and back on over to Johnny Price's team here. You got Zapto on the squad. Now, on TSM, recently back from some international play, but what I did see is he's out there looking for eliminations on path, getting mixy, running the G7 Scout and P2020s. So you're talking about that comeback, and you're in 15th place, knowing that these are the weapons you need to actually get those points for elimination. So let Johnny Price on Loba anchor back, keep you up to date with all of the ammo and the loot quality that you need while you're out there fragging.
And it looks like they got these kills, and you could see Johnny Price, great for our viewers. These players are well aware of these dynamics. So he's shooting single fire with the Hemlock so as not to get a kill, pointing it out to Zap, and Zap is finishing with the Pathfinder on the G7. So they're getting those bonus points. This is a harder way to do it, but it is a way, like I was mentioning, somebody can hopefully finish off. And you see there, the Akimbo P20, Zap gets 1, finishes off the Loba as well. He's the kill leader with 4 kills, and he is rocking the bonus point weapon. So those are 4 points that are going towards Zapto, Johnny Price, and Nyamoka.
I'll grab it.
Look, that's how you gotta change things. All right, so black market down. What is he looking to grab? That's what I was, oh, the Devo. Okay,
Not
Johnny,
bad.
we see you. Moving up from just nades only straight to a care package weapon. Beautifully done.
A Prizia, or a prize, however you want to say it, on here as well. Getting the notification up on their top right that more cryptos, more Maggies are going down to Akimbos. That Loba certainly Zapdo, who is running around with that. We saw him get a few kills. Actually, I think Zapdo was on the Pathfinder, so actually could be that Pathfinder interacting with the Loba who's getting a few kills as well. So we'll have to wait and see. A little bit of speculation on our side, but Tiff, 17 squads left. Kind of hitting, I don't know, a terminal point here for this lobby. Still pretty slow paced. E-District, why do you think that is?
I think it's the revival, right? So knowing that if you can't fully wipe a squad, then you have to just be conservative about it. But then we jump on over and you got Reps, Clara, and Villion. And I'm like, there is nothing conservative about this. We are being sieged right now. And Clara's just like, I've got to go. I've got to get out of here. Gets ripped off by someone at a distance. And it's looking pretty dire for that squad.
She's hearing your commentary, you know, no one really wants to push. Immediately getting pushed by like 3 people dying. Like, okay, I'm not sure.
She's
That's
like, what do you mean?
That's not quite my experience. Janie going down, gonna have a chance to revive as well as long as Timmy stays alive. He's on the crypto. Oh, that's some drama right there. We'll keep an eye on if Timmy can stay alive. But Lulu, our headliner for this event, Greek and Ella making a move. They're in a great spot here. Golden Sentinel, at least it looked like. And the Havoc with a turbocharger. There's no bonus points for this, but there should be a lot of kills if Lulu gets her sights on you.
I can't really peek over.
Oh, exactly. But we have 17 squads up, and our zone is so incredibly small. So if you aren't already in it, and we kind of jump back to this Johnny Price roster, they are on high ground. We've got angles and a Pathfinder playground with zips everywhere to really let Zap just kind of make the most out of this situation. But I think this is where it's going to start getting crazy. And the comms come in. He's like almost knocked. And that's where Zap needs to kind of answer back with maybe the G7 scouts so we can start getting points. Yeah. And that's what he's doing. Zap's like, I'm coming for it. I just got to hit the full. Let's go.
This is such a good play. I mean, this could be tournament changing right here. Zap's going to get another one. I mean, this is beautiful. Hemlock to burst him down. Zap to swing. He's on the Pathfinder. He's going to be able to get right back up because he's got that zip line or he's got the grapple. This is such a good, smart play in order to capitalize not only on holding a zone that is in the final zone. Well, we'll see in just a second, but it looks pretty close to being in the final zone. And obviously finishing off some kills. Going to throw this thermite there. Zap asking for a little bit of help as well.
Caustic ultim. Oh, Niamoka. He's going down. Let those hammer points sing. This is what the people want. I told you, this is the noise I hear in my nightmares now, Rain Day.
Nightmare fuel.
Ping, 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 ping.
Tiff can't sleep. She's not going to sleep tonight. She's heard it too much. Zap's got 6 kills with bonus weapons, meaning no elimination points for standard weapon kills. But if you're rocking a G7 or a P20, you're going to get them. And Zap is only using those. It is a beautiful showcase of how you're going to have to handle your E-District games. Game 3 overall. Game 2 out of 3 on E-District. In LuluLuvely's 100K Throwdown. 13 squads left. Zone 4 still here, but in Zone 5, no more revivals. So we've gotten here. Still a little bit of a chance to be aggressive and make it out alive, but you're cutting it close.
You really are, but you can see where that next zone is going to be pulling towards. We're kind of at the back of Humbert Labs and towards the north of Old Town. And I like that we're looking to clear out this left side of the next zone because that's easily where someone's going to look to wrap them. So Greek locking in that boosted weapon of the G7 Scout to keep that pressure straight towards them. We do have the zip available if we need to kind of get out of dodge relatively quickly when this ring starts to close in about 2 or so seconds.
Still waiting to see Verholst show up. Maybe the wait is over. Pathfinder grapple. Dara J just trying to stay alive. Verholst. Big E says, I got to leave him behind just so I can maybe survive for us. 5 kills off the G7 and P20. You know, those are 5 bonus points, but still no placement points, essentially. Maybe just 1 being in the top 13. He's going to want to try to rat his way into this. Might have a little angle here. You've seen how aggressive teams are on the high ground. He's just going to try to maybe slide in and find a good spot to stay out of line of sight.
Squad down. And Ava Lee here. Now, Reptar Hammer points on the P2020s gets caught out by a rogue scent and a G7 scout. A lot of people looking to use those boosted weapons and make the most out of their eliminations, but we are rezzing through that EMP that trying to come through. Nice little reset here.
Going for offense is the best form of defense. Only 25 health to his name. Reptar going to hit a battery.
Wait a second.
And now
Wait a
he's
second.
going to try to go in there. It could be 2 kills. It is with the P20 and 11 kills for Reptar. You can see why they're in the thick of things. But double P2020, double P2020. In and out's mad here.
That's what I'm saying. Hit him with the double. What is that? I don't even want to know. But like, they're both hammer points. They have the gold mag on the P2020. He has 11 eliminations. Reptar is on some kind of craziness that I didn't expect to witness. But this is where those frags are going to be real nice, especially if you can keep on getting them resupplied. Lulu's team barrel crawling forward. We're not into that next zone, but we're about to be. She picks up a vantage. Not with the boosted weapon. But we're still working on that placement.
And I like it. Just going for confidence, right? Remember, they got out 17th. The question was, how would they bounce back? This is a bounce back game. Not going for any of those G7s or P20s, but just going for something that feels familiar. Havoc, Sentinel, Lulu. Oh, gets the reload. Ready for the peek. Slides out, gets it. Oh, what a play from LuluLuvely in her own tournament. Wins the 1v1, earns top 9, and stays alive.
Hey, now he's got to keep on moving forward. I was curious. Ooh, but when you've got that hammer point P2020 across from you, that's unfortunate. Do we still have the revival available? Let's go ahead and see. No, I think Greek just made the comment that it's already been shut off. So Greek last standing for that roster, and back on over to Johnny Price. The hip fire with the Devo goes nasty, and Zap last standing for him.
It's been a great run, though. Zapdo trying to get in on the action, and he will. He will. Zapdo's going to be involved. That team will go down. It was from shots from afar away. Will they get the res? Yes. Oh, it's going to stop right here. It's safety, at least in numbers, as Zap and Johnny Price are alive. Nyamoka just maybe going to get revived as well. Zap's going to go for it, it looks like, just because he has... Oh, he's going to scout. So he's going to leave Johnny to do this. Going to go scout. Smart play as well from Zap.
If drops on us, you're going to ult our feet, literally, okay? And then start blasting. Go crazy.
Wait, is Krestef out here IGLing Yanya and Fire Dragon? If so, very much in love with this. Yanya, you know, they saw that big pop-off moment on that game number 2 World's Edge map.
Did.
Yeah.
Already on 5 eliminations, running the G7 Scout, looking for even more points, and they found themselves in first place after that big game.
Yeah, playing under this tunnel, kind of like a sewer here. Obviously, it's got E-District underbelly, maybe a story to tell, but the story right now seems to be Krestef with the riot drill. A little bit of IGLing over one of the best players in the world in Yanya, and Fire Dragon on the Caustic, holding it down for the squad. G7 scouts from a distance. Yanya not scared to take a battle. Should be, though. Could be, though. Still not scared. Inch of his life stays alive.
Just keep throwing things over there.
I'm gonna loot this box.
We're gonna need a Mickey Kitty Vamos to come through after this one, for sure. But we check out another POV back on over to Johnny Price's team. Nyamoka here, into the top 4.
Listening to a little Kid Leroy. All right, I like it. Getting the jams going.
You gotta get the vibes right, you know, especially if you're gonna caustic ult and create some chaos.
The question is, you know, I need you to stay. I need you to stay. Is that because, you know, she's playing caustic here? She's just thinking, you know, don't go anywhere? I don't know. At this point, it's girls, so I'm not going to try to read into that. I'm just going to let the jams play on. And Nyamoka with the shotguns, they've been changed.
Oh.
And taking advantage of it as possible, as much as possible here. As we go down into our final 4, it's TSM M&K, which is Reps, and Clara at work. She's getting a chance to play. Zach watching her this time around.
I finished the kill.
I'm shitting on them on left.
Batting.
we go.
Can we
I'm
break?
dead
Can
here.
we
I'm
break?
dead. That's all you
All
guys. I'm
of
dead.
the information with dupe
There's
on
P20
Crypto
left.
got the
P20
drone out, so it's giving every bit of it. But to me, it creates a level of kind of anxiety because you don't know where you need to look, and just like that, everyone collapses on him. So we just have Crestep once again swinging for that final.
Wow.
They take a back-to-back win. Twitch Rivals might be theirs.
I almost got like.
We got a long way to go, but 2 wins is huge. Brandon Sanderson fans rejoice. We're going back to Storm Point.
That is right. Who will be Storm blessed is the question as we look to see these players and their drop spots show up. Hopefully a little bit easier to just land and loot up than those teams that have to contest. And I think that is not going to be the case of Juliantic and Surefour as they get down pretty easily. Their deeds under the name KCP D33DS. Very, Xbox, PlayStation, console gamer tag of him.
I was just thinking of my 3DS that's in my cabinet over there. I was like, yeah,
Oh,
you
what
know
a
what deeds
throwback.
I like? Yeah, I'm telling you, nostalgia.
Forgot that system
Used to just
existed.
grind. Yeah, all the Pokemon games. I think I've got like 95% of the ones in existence, just missing a couple of the old school Game Boy ones. But
Wow.
I like this. We got deeds on Seer, which Rain Day, you and I, we've had a lot of time watching some Seer
Yeah.
gameplay, and
Yeah.
it's starting to make its way back. So we'll get a couple exhibits out there. But starting from this north pad style of play here, let's see where everyone's at on this ping.
Now, where does Seer go from here? The question is always on the top of people's minds and designers' minds. Is this character gets a little bit of time and then usually gets nerfed back into, not irrelevancy, but as close to it as it can be in terms of high level. Well, it's gone away from that. It's been away from quite a while, and now recently with the nerfs of Bloodhound, Seer came right back in. And I think for a lot of people's excitement, they were very happy to see a new recon legend take the fold this season, bring some changes. And Seer gets a new option with the 3rd level perk. You could choose to lessen the duration of your scan, but get 2 scans. And that's a very interesting choice.
Oh.
Versus getting that extended distance that would allow you to scan farther away, you can go for 2 of them. So I think it's going to be very interesting for our pro players and just anyone here playing Seer to see if they opt for it.
I would be curious with that. I did get a look at someone running that Newcastle, Gibby, Caustic. And I just have to smile. And now we're back on over here with, is it truly Crestep? So if so, I do apologize. Yanya and Fire Dragon. Here's the deal, guys.
I'm going to need a twit longer from you right now.
I'm a very hooked on phonics kind of person when it comes to these gamer names. I just sound it out and I'm like, I'm probably wrong. And then when people start throwing in like all of the X's and I'm like, this could be any vowel. I don't know where we're going with this one.
I mean, even 3s or 4s. I mean, they throw me off. I used to cast console leagues for some other games when I started commentary, many years ago, and it was just the hardest thing off the rip. No one you've ever seen, and to get it right. So, you got to give us commentators a little bit of leniency there. And obviously, nobody means to mispronounce the name, but it always does help. I always recommend people when making names, make it as easy to pronounce as possible. To avoid those types of situations. But hey, look at me. I think Rain Day's easy, but people still call me Rainy Day.
They just get it mixed up a little bit. They change some things. I say, you're now Rainy Day. I like
That's
it.
right. That's right. Great stuff here with still getting a little bit of lay of the land, some chat, and setup. It is game number 4. We switch over to Storm Point. It's going to be our first and only Storm Point map. We're going to do E-District and World's Edge to finish our tournament here. And so far, like a lot of diversity in the compositions. We've seen Seer and Caustic and Rampart. We've seen Caustic, Rampart, and Gibby. We've seen, I think, Rampart, Seer, and Revenant. We've seen so many different options here. And see, look, Bloodhound, Revenant, and Gibraltar. I mean, so many different choices. Probably the most diverse, I think, that we've seen so far.
Really, and this is a true aggressive composition as we're over here just on the outskirts of Barometer, kind of angling through the bamboo forest. I like that Avalee is working on getting that 30-30 so she can put all of that damage down while kind of acting as more of an anchor for the roster. Reptar and Flats can go be very aggressive alongside each other, and it just kind of sets up the play, right?
Yeah. Gibraltar also just a big legend. And it's not just, you know, the way that the character is modeled. It's truly in the hitbox. It is a larger legend. It's one of the earlier issues in Apex that they did such a, I think, smart decision in how to fix it. Gave it 15% less damage for the bullets, and also you do not get slowed when getting hit. Gibby hasn't been played in competitive for a long time, but when played and when at a high level is one of the most threatening legends and one of the most dominant legends in the game, forcing you to fight around those bubble shields. Defensive bombardment, the ultimate, meaning pretty much getting hit by that once or twice is a surefire death sentence. And now in Season 22, receiving a little bit of a buff, taking that gunslinger hop up and actually helping Gibby when he's using it on an LMG, increases gun shield from 50 to 75, and obviously try to bring that character back into a little bit of relevancy. He's been missing for quite a while, Tiff.
Truly has. And then we come on over here to LuluLuvely squad. Ella, Greek. Curious to see. Now we're out here making sure we've got enough cells and bats to go around. But it looks like we are pulling towards that northern side of things. Looking down the scopes there, that's going to be checkpoint.
Gazebo, I think late. We're going to just try to triple climb up here and we can start pressuring them like bad.
Good to listen to the comms.
Oh, yeah. Greek out there.
Razzle going for his
IGLing.
XQC look here.
I think they honestly might run off.
Okay.
Oh, they're gonna run off. Is this the self-proclaimed French fry expert I was learning about when I was doing my research?
Great squad here. I love listening into these comms just a little bit. One of the benefits of Twitch Rivals, we get to kind of sit back and hear how Baby Nikki, Boom Razzle, and Girl are going to navigate this one.
It seems good, right? We're at Command Center. You've got all of the gas traps kind of just down and angled around that ring console. Wait, what was that? What was that?
Don't get scared. It's
a little
not a spider, Tiff.
gremlin,
Don't worry.
gremlin action. A little gremlin action. I love it.
And of course, just trying to reposition. That could be a scary zip line to take up in Storm Point. Be some trouble waiting for you on the top or the bottom of it. And a nice showcase of that controller. I mean, this is Selena. That is quite an unusual way to play that. Really awesome to see. I am just such a, for me, you know, I got so used to M&K. I can't play anything competitively controller right now. You know, I think I could maybe play Elder Scrolls or something like that, as about as good as any level of competition if you give me a controller. But amazing to see the technical skill. We've seen some changes in controller going from 0.4 to 0.3 in terms of aim assist. And that just means it's going to be a little harder to keep that mouse over your enemy. Still, you know, quite there. But, yeah, some changes trying to even things out for M&K players across the board.
You can take it.
You're not wrong on that. I heard Alb actually made a move back to M&K from controller. Times are changing, but will more players switch back? I don't know. But then you come back on over to Team Yanya and Fire Dragon and first place, 47 points. Now, this is the squad that went back-to-back wins in games 2 and 3.
Just play this back over here.
Absolutely. And a team that has got the right rhythm, the right communication.
One over here.
And Yanya letting them know. Just going to try to hold. This is where the zone he believes is going to end. At least it's going to give him an option to play in zone. Still 20 squads alive, and this is not Revival. Also, let's just set the stakes as well. In Revival, our last match, you needed to get a point by using a G7 Scout or a P2020. You'll get points for any kills. But if you get a kill with an alternator, it will be 2 points. So get a point for the kill, like you would with any weapon, but a bonus point for using the choice weapon on this round. So we'll see if Vaxlon can get a double point. He's just trying to get two of his teammates to stay alive, that's for sure. He's going to hit the shield battery. He's going to get one off. Throws the quick shield as well from Newcastle. Tries to get the swap. Not enough. Revenant in the ultimate, playing off the Newcastle shield, which is still alive. It's up to LG Ducks to try to pull this off. If only Newcastle was alive to try to get these reses, it would be so much easier. Ducks. Yeah. That's going to be it. But a valiant effort.
I wanted to see a Ducks clutch up for sure, but then we come on over here to Team Confusing QT. And they're just trying to take checkpoint by storm. Dropping straight towards the low ground. I'm a little worried about this, especially when we've seen a lot of teams in that bunker area. on the outskirts of checkpoint, but they might not have angles. I'm thinking of teams like Team LuluLuvely, right? She had that amped up sentinel from the bunkers, and Yanya's squad also kind of getting into these trenches in the north. Rampart being so nice to kind of angle off some of these areas.
Notably not seeing a lot of charge rifles just yet in our POV so far. Quite curious. It is really one of the weapons that feels like for Storm Point, the way these teams are playing would work. As we jump right into the action, it's a kill early on there. Surefour with his sights, right, with the charge rifle. There's a good example of the weapon. Some bonus points there. And an opportunity. It's going to be a lot harder because you got that delay. And just as I say it, oh, what a shot. It doesn't actually go to Surefour because it gets finished off by a team closer by. But you could say that Surefour certainly was the reason that player died.
You're not, yeah, like 100%. I'm so sad that that didn't happen because we put 110 damage down on that one initial shot. Player was maybe 10 HP and it just got robbed from him. But now you can kind of just keep an overlook on the pineapples and IMC Armory. And you've got your teammate and you kind of with the rampart walls surrounding Sheila in the back pocket.
Trying to get there. No.
We could.
A little conversation, some hesitation on should we move? Should we try to push? Shake some space?
I need you to
Again,
stay.
Surefour doing a lot of damage. If I'm Surefour right here, I mean, we've all been in this situation in Apex. I'm not trying to move at all. This is fun. This is what I'm all about. Just get some shots from long range.
Just
see those
like Kid Leroy
116s.
wanted.
That's right. I need you to stay. Exactly. He's listening to that on Spotify too.
We're just all jamming here, aren't we?
That's
Let me
right.
just say. More charge rifle, though. This time you got the 3X, and you have all of the angles straight into checkpoint. I'm curious if teams are going to make that rotate. You can see they've got the live pings out there towards the open. But Reptar, Flats, Avalee, not in that next zone, and we're still fighting our way into it. 14 squads up, the Chow of the Revenants on the roof, and Reptar trying to get those eliminations with the alternator. That's going to be one of the boosted weapons, but can we do it?
It's a smart drop. It's a fake out. Really, a player of Reptar's caliber would trust that he can get the job done, but it is just unfortunate. Didn't have enough in the magazine to finish somebody off. And so that Rampart turns around and gets some damage. But Flats is there to recover and get the KP. This is that team that's going to come in charging, though, trying to find their own space. And this is going to have an impact on the teams that they run into because the zone is pulling in pretty far. And there's certainly going to be a team on that edge. And while Reptar and them are battle-tested, will it be enough?
So far, so good. They get that full reset. Reptar back to full, but time is of the essence, and you can see that White Raven is giving information towards that choke point that they've got to get through. But back on over. Emong, Dupe, Selena trying to take this gazebo for themselves. They got the Newcastle wall that they're going to have to play around, though.
Wow, and they're close.
Good comms.
Not really worth it. Has the opportunity to push them out of that space, though. Emong's deciding not to do it. And I think this is it's a smart decision. It's conservative. It's the phrase, one in the hand's better than two in the bush. Why go for something when you've already got a decent spot just to get a that much better spot? Well, they decide, you know what? At the end of the day, innovation's all about risk. So let's take some and let's make some. Right there, gets a big kill. 3 to add to the tally. I'm not sure if they used a ton of alternators there. They did have charge rifles and alternators supporting, but who got the final kills? We'll have to find that one out. 8 squads left, and they go right back to where they were. But guess what? Another team has decided to encroach into their habitat. Can they get them out? They've got a Cossack ultimate to play with.
Oh, in the comms, Ape in. We got bubbles. We got shotgun bubble fights. We're connecting. And the gold knock to get the reset back onto Reptar. I loved the push that we just witnessed, but Avalee, Reptar, and Flats able to just completely stop it.
That's incredible. I mean, we talked about their journey. We said they're going to run into a team that is sitting there already. They're battle tested. Will they have what it takes? Yes, they will. They finish it off. And that is why that phrase, you know, the bird and in the bush and all that stuff that we just mentioned, why that is important. Because sometimes when you do go for innovation, you do risk it, you give up what you had. And that was the spot they wanted to go back to. Reptar and Avalee right on the money to capitalize on that approach. And now 7 squads are left, and Doki Bird is going crazy.
I was going to say, can we just get a moment for this team right now?
I mean, at least you're
Yes.
having fun. And that's all you love. Charge rifle and minus tempo. You know that was going to happen.
She goes, I must sacrifice myself. Go, minus tempo, go. Still alive. Some solo shenanigans here on Stormpoint.
Oh, and you love to see this part. LuluLuvely in a great position. 7 squads left to try to take a game in her throwdown. Avely on the Gibraltar. Quick slide. Dome shield as well. It's going to get vulnerable underneath, but she's got the angles. Look at this. Decides to go for it. Shotguns ringing. And some heads will roll. Avely, Flats, and Reptar make it 5 squads left. Add to the tally, but a long-range shot from a Gibraltar snipes Avely from a distance. I don't think that was tempo, but it does bring Avely down.
That is so unfortunate, but look who is left. We're going in. There's a knock. Let the Havoc sing. You're running double energy weapons.
Huge.
We don't even care that the energy stacks got reworked throughout. We've got plenty north of 300. And if Fire Dragon's down, we can work the knockdown. We have the gold knock to res in perfection, right? You're coming back with half shields, half health. And Yanya's calming. The respawn beacon's near. This is a reset for the ages.
Tree step deciding, are we just going to try to mobile respawn beacon here? I think it's a smart play if they've got it. So they are. Zapto going down. Johnny Price getting picked up by Nyamoka on the Newcastle here. All 3 fighting, just barely alive. 3rd squad here to be looked at, and the 3rd squad left alive in this lobby. Fighting tooth and nail just to hold on to this position, but if they can, they're in a great spot.
They're overlooking that mobile, but here comes the defensive bombardment. Let it rip. We haven't had a Watson controller legend available, so we are just in the open trying to dodge the best we can, albeit stunned for the time being. But we're all alive, and we are all healing back up on those med kits, so pretty solid.
And that mobile shield from Newcastle, just an extra bit of defense alongside the rampart walls. This team right here has impressed me so much in terms of just the way that they've been playing. Very intelligent, going with the rules of the game to try to maximize those bonus points. Now they've got themselves into another top 3. Can they close the door, seal the deal? Changing out that helmet just so they can increase some of the charge time on what will be a Newcastle wall.
They might slow down on us. They might ape this.
And Tiff, this is crunch time here.
It really is, and I'm listening to the comms. He's like, hey, we gotta watch out. They might slide down. This is also where you see the controller legends being so viable, right? They get that extra shield overcharge, right? So Johnny Price, while has purple, is getting the benefits of having a red shield because they're playing from zone. And then back to the trenches we go. This squad, Team Grease Up, they got the full reset. Yanya back into it alongside Fire Dragon, fully healed up for the most part. Knowing that we're in the final 3, we just have to keep our eyes on Yanya, still kind of trying to find those angles, get that opening damage. But you don't want to be the first squad to fight when there's 3 left.
Yeah, it is a real showcase of what that 25 extra health can do for a team, especially when you make it into that final zone. Casey Dilla, Aprizi, and Chief GG on the other side of it. All right, so now we get a look at this team here. And they're the team on the backside of this fight. They can push the others into each other. Johnny Price, Zapto, Nyamoka as well.
The team on the left might just fight us, guys. So.
Kind of in between.
One more bat left. I like the wall there. That'd be interesting, but still people can look for that high ground on them. They don't have to move too far, so they'll have some space to play this here. Oh, okay, Zap. Let's see that IGL. I mean, look, he's been IGLing TSM, kind of stepping into that role, and a lot of things he was worried about was this specific angle towards their left. If they get full sent here, then they're going to be third-partied immediately, and it's an immediate wash on this. But we're looking for placement points to go alongside our eliminations, and Zap's got 7.
And Zap knowing that, you know, each elimination that he gets, it's still counting in this game. Opting for just the loadout that he feels is going to get the job done. And again, just seamlessly interacting with these rules to get the best and easiest position. That's what that helmet was for, to get that castle wall, move it a little bit forward, It's going to increase the charge time of your abilities and your ultimate, but look at how quickly it's destroyed. My, oh my. Mobile shield still in hand. That will help, I guess, adjust it. But Yanya, Fire Dragon, and Kree Step. We've got Casey Dilla's squad on the other side, and we've got Zapdos squad on the outside of Yanya. Almost getting enough something. Zap says, okay, all right, maybe this is worth poking. Apply some pressure. Final round closing. Still 55 seconds before these teams come to a head.
Here we go. Beast of the Hunt activated. I was really scared of this, right? Because when we are on Yanya, he wants that caustic ult to go towards Johnny Price's team. So keeping their focus on that. You got the opening knock. Sheila, though, from Johnny answers back with a knock of that. We have to worry about the climb up team, but here comes Kristep showing why. So powerful. Looking for eliminations. Full wipe on a Johnny Price. Now into the final two.
Kristep and Yanya doing their thing, but not enough. Casey Dilla. And the new map, and it's E-District in Season 20, I think 2? Yeah, Shockwave, I know that is what it's called, but at the end of the day, we are having a chance to see a competitive showcase of our latest map, nighttime themed, and look at that, just beautiful images as Timmy, Janie, and Bad Gal Shay drop in for the last chance here. We will have, like traditional rules, Tiff, no points scored for eliminations unless you are using an L-Star or a longbow. So weapons that start with L, pretty good chance that you're going to get a bonus elimination for that.
Time to lock it in if you're a longbow Larry. That's what I want for you here. Well, we are seeing some stadium action. We knew this was going to be one of those hot drops to get those points here. Timmy not afraid to do so alongside Janie and Bad Gal Shay. But can we grab some eliminations? Not like you said, it matters, right? But it would be nice to get some placements out of this if we can squad wipe someone. Janie coming in with the nemesis, but that Chow goes hard.
Impressive stuff. Timmy does go down. Hopefully they get him up quickly. You just got to make this move right here. And look at it, it's the Bangalore, the Fuse, and the Loba, as we anticipated going into this one. But again, going down one more time. And this is probably going to be the end, unless Janie can clutch for Timmy's team.
Let's go southeast.
Okay. Burholst here. Using QT, respawning back on in. Dara as well, dropping on in.
There's one guy there.
But you can see, back in, they get the full on nearby Bangalore, but we drop right on in. Luckily, you have your weapons, but when you find yourself in a 1v2, and that's so unfortunate, outnumbered, back on the ground we go. Time to hit a respawn and try again.
Yeah, and you can see 30 seconds now. Obviously, it's going to be easier to bring that down if you can do damage, or one of your teammates can do damage who are left alive. But just unfortunate, you know, it's nothing to do with Dara. You can see how difficult it is when there's just two people jumping at you, two targets. It's hard enough to keep your aim on one target in any FPS, especially with players of this caliber, but two, just forget about it. So that's going to be tough. Luckily, the respawns are there. Still 20 squads left, so that also means that Janie and its Timmy squad was able to get away from that earlier engagement. At least one of them is still alive. So the benefits of Revival, a new LTM on E-District in this new season, it's going to mean that you have a chance to, you know, make some mistakes early, get aggressive a bit early, and still get back. And I know for a lot of players, that is just what they love, especially jumping into a game after a while. You want a hot drop, you want to land, you want to get some, you know, some fights in, but you know, you still want to have a chance after that.
I agree. I think the LTM is a great way to learn E-District. So you talk about those mistakes that you can easily make, but you get that revival to come on back. So if we're looking at learning certain POIs across the new map, having to not go back to the lobby right away to just dive back in to learn things, that's everything that we want. But we're going to come on over here. We got Designful, Model Morg, Emmy, and she's got the Fuse. There's that perk I was talking about that grants you access to those ring consoles. So let's see where we're going. We've ended up towards Lotus prior, but it looks like this one's going to carve out towards the northeastern side of E-District, which we haven't really seen yet on the broadcast today.
Yeah, getting a good glimpse of all that E-District has to offer us as a map. Will it be something considered competitive? We don't know, but I think there's been a great reception of the map so far. That bodes well for this game, continuing to add maps to the rotation. Currently, we have not seen any of the ALGS take it on, except from Storm Point and World's Edge. But that could always change. Who knows what future years have in store in terms of that. And of course, new maps give us more options.
That's true, but at least we get it here for the $100,000 LuluLuvely Apex Legends Throwdown. What a good way to showcase so many of our Apex community and other content creators across the board. Last we checked in with Minus Tempo, Doki, and LuluLuvely. We had some immense vibes, just loving that charge rifle being one of the boosted weapons, but this time it's going to be the longbow and L-Star. And sure, Minus Tempo doesn't have any of these, but you know who does? LuluLuvely.
And it's going to be huge, especially with the longbow. I think this is going to be that G7 scout, essentially, for a lot of teams heading into this matchup, because that range, you're going to fight from it. Oh, big headshot. Could get a kill. It's a one-shot possibility. LuluLuvely's going to go for it. He tries. I knew it. But it's just tough. In the smoke. It's going to create that defensive pressure. Now this is certainly a one-shot. It's probably only been a shield cell heal, and there it is. That's the kill. Going to switch off. He's going to go down. That's an arc star, though. Is it another team is the question. They trade. Nothing gotten from that. And that kill, I don't think is going to go to Al, even though he did it with the longbow. So pay attention to that. L-Star, that kill will go to Reps, but he'll go down as well and fall. But I think it's a good enough trade. They add 1 point to the score. And now Clara and squad, they're going to get out of there and just try to wait for Reps to get back alive.
We're just out here getting punished, looking for a full. We've seen that happen on the last two teams that we have been jumping around and observing. Now Reps getting back in to join alongside Clara and Villian. So love to see that for them. Let's see. Oh, Senti. Could be a nice placement holder while you're looking for a longbow, but it just seems like we need that energy ammo. So we'd love to see them get that black market down when it makes more sense, especially if you can group back up alongside Clara.
Ooh, lots of damage there. But you're right, just trying to find the right spot to revive. They get it. And Reps is back up. So no issues there. 20 squads still left. We expect to see this until about round 3. That's when, you start running out of room to make mistakes. The map gets a little smaller. You can't run away as far and survive as a solo. But up until now, you're going to continue to see it. L-Star in the hand of Imperial Howl. Falcons chance in the building. I mean, I gotta say, it was pretty funny hearing people go caw for Falcons.
Wait, stop. People did?
Yeah, that was real. And I gotta say, it takes a super fan at times to do the bird call.
Okay, hear me out. You just got a squad wipe. For every squad wipe we see for Imperial Howl, I'll hit it. I'll hit it. A little caw. Put some
and
passion
the hand gestures as well. I'm telling you.
I did, actually.
Falcons have some fans. And Imperial Howl taking advantage of it. Some sweet scenes there. And will be some sweet scenes in person as well in a few weeks. But right here competing in the most important tournament of the moment. It's that Lulu throwdown, and Howl throwing down again. Went from, feels like a white to purple in that one sequence. And him and his team, Happy Gal and Kyrie, will continue to move across this zone, trying to make their way up to the northeast.
Yes, now you come to us because we're getting fucking...
All right, here we go. Back on over. This squad has won 2 maps that we've witnessed so far. And the way they're doing something quite nice, right? As we move on over towards that next zone. Sure, we lose that on Yanya, but just a few seconds to get him back onto E-District footing. Don't have eliminations here for Kristap. We don't have the boosted weapons either. But the last we saw, usually one person is dedicated to roll that. But I see some longbow shots coming from the north, and Kristap is kind of reading it.
It's a full team. I'm gonna walk up.
Kristap continuing to move on with a Hemlock. Again, got nerfed, but for all intents and purposes, it's a good weapon. And so going to continue to use it from this type of range. No bonus points, no elimination points from it. But Kristap not worried about that. Yanya, maybe the character to pay the most attention to on the Wraith. Different option. We've been seeing the Fuse go in, but Yanya and players like It's Timmy, they've decided to go against the grain a little bit, opting for the Octanes, the Revenants, and now the Wraith. Characters that give them some personal ability to IGL, the Scout, to get into the fray and also survive and make plays.
Chat, don't forget, Chat Sigmods is still going on. You can vote on the name of the car and be entered to win the car in real life. All right, back to the game.
Love that we're back to the game. I mean, look, Rain Day. I saw GG Chat. I saw Next Level. What would you name the Honda?
I would go Honda. I think it was Honda Hero. It was
Hybrid hero.
Hybrid hero. It was the alliteration with the double H's. I like that.
Okay.
But I feel like GG chat's gonna take it. That's just, I feel there's a little bit too much. They're in the chat voting. They are the chat. They're not the chat, but they are the chat. I felt like that was just, it's just right there. So, but I'm a hybrid hero kind of guy. I'm also a longbow kind of guy, potentially, especially if it's in the hands of Avely. Doing damage from range. Reptar trying to capitalize and certainly will.
Oh, movement, gets one, takes too much damage, unfortunately, and we're blocking the door here. I see someone triple taking from a distance, though, so maybe, just maybe, we'll be all right, especially when you've got Flats and Avely still up across the way with the longbow on that overlook. Just about 10 more seconds until Reptar gets back in, but she's got 1 elimination. Hopefully it was with that longbow so we can start racking up more points, especially when you're in second place on map 5 with just a little bit more time to get into first place here in this 100,000 LuluLuvely Apex Throwdown.
Amazing to see, yeah, down below, just that placement. Great, pointing that out, Tiff, just so people joining us can see the stakes at hand. 2 maps to go.
No, there's still respawn.
Kyrie getting ready to go. Is that talking to chat, maybe? I think maybe. Looking to the side. That's a chat monitor. You gotta expect that's a chat monitor right there. Obviously, not too much to do sitting in this building so far. As excuse me, Happy Gal is who's on your screen right now. Not Kyrie. Kyrie's in the action. Falcons, Imperial Hal as well, on sitting on purples. The R301, man, if you haven't played Apex in a little bit, that weapon used to be the bee's knees. I mean, certainly was the go-to AR for many, many years. Had a little bit of a sleeper year this last year around. I think it's probably because it was so good. Got buffed again significantly in this season. I think it is back. I think it's safe to say. So if you're an R301 enjoyer, it's a great time to jump back in Apex to get some games.
Speaking my language, Rain Day, I had to convert over to the flat line for the past couple of seasons, but if you're telling me that it's back...
Oh, I think so.
Let me at him. Well, we'll go ahead and jump back on over to this roster, this time with Kyrie's POV, locking in on that Wraith. Does have 1 elimination. Hopefully with that longbow, into the void we go to reunite alongside Happy Gal and Imperial Hal. Now, this was your winners of map number 1, but they've found themselves only in 4th place. So, you know they've got moves to make. Something about Hal makes this be like, hey, we only want to win. And, you know, have good vibes. But so far, also win.
Yeah, so far, also win. Some people, I think we were talking about this earlier, really relate winning to, you know, good vibes. And if they're not winning, there aren't good vibes. I mean, having good vibes and losing, it just doesn't equate to them. And that's the point of the competition. And, you know, I know sometimes that could be strange for people who maybe enjoy the art of it, the experience of it. But, you know, some of these players, they certainly have already made it known. It is about winning and nothing else. That is my legacy. That's what I'm going after. That's what makes it fun for me. And Imperial Hal, you know, while he can joke around many times, he's made it very clear. Winning, that's my legacy.
Like that. Well, hopefully they can keep on moving here. Maybe start with some nice Twitch Rivals winnings and then just keep that momentum moving into the end of August, beginning of September, when some cool international things are going to be happening for Hal. Until then, read that zone pool. Just on the outskirts of Galleria here. Hal on 5, running both boosted weapons here, so you know you're going to lock in those points.
What building?
16 squads. Patiently waiting. This is what we've seen a lot. Maybe not as aggressive as we saw Zapto and Johnny Price in that early engagement, but you can see Hal from a distance with the longbow. Kyrie setting things up to be a little bit more aggressive on the Wraith, also porting out with that dimensional portal to give them some movement. 52 seconds left before we get into round 5. What does that mean? No more revives. So stakes get even higher. If you want to make a move, now's the time. Kristep has been on fire with Fire Dragon and Yanya taking the lead. 62 points overall. And they get a win here. Certainly would make it hard for them not to be considered the favorite heading into Game 6, if so.
Yeah, and they just have to use brute force to get themselves into that next zone because you can see it's really open. You're just looking for any semblance of cover that you can make happen. And when you pull out those controller legends that are so good at making places viable, and it's not like you have a Newcastle for the pick, right? So sectioning things off, especially with the mother load that Fuse has and maybe kind of putting those knuckle clusters down the way. But with everyone mostly grabbing the Bangalore, things like what Fire Dragon's making work, swinging on Havocs, that'll help.
I mean, and this is just great play from Fire Dragon. You know, makes a mistake, throws that Fuse mother load way too far, but immediately follows up, finds a kill, and then Kristep and Yanya can get the job done early enough because guess what? 38 seconds. If he'd gone down, still would have had a chance to revive and get back alive so that they could fight as a 3. Now they figured it out. Shield swaps haven't happened. And they didn't swap or drop a shield there, so they've just prioritized getting those 2 out. I think it's smart. Evil Toaster, Perfect Lioness, also in trouble here. Hambino's squad. Hambino looking to get rezzed up, right now as 12 squads still remain. 11 has Team 6 eliminated here as well. Teams dropping like flies here in our final match of E District and our fifth out of 6 matches overall in this tournament.
And here's the negative of not having a Loba on your squad. We are once again, for Yanya, running out of ammo. 39 bullets in the Hemlock. Let's hope there's more energy, because the last we saw when we were on World's Edge for them, towards that end game, before he got those 4 eliminations, had 4 energy bullets. But still, hits the portal, repositions. And the comms coming in, play on me. This is where we go. Do we see another victory for this trio?
I mean, so delicate, that little head peek right there. And then to go in, turn it into a kill, just like that with an L-Star, and they're going to get another one. Oh, you bet Yana's going to finish that off, but it's with the Hemlock. It was so close. But Tiff, just like you had made a reference to, felt like the L-Star had run out of ammo just then, is able to go into the box, grab a little bit more. But Kyrie now all alone. Imperial Hal, happy gal, they're out. No more revives. It's round 5. It's just Kyrie to try to make a statement here, climb back up from 4th, and try to challenge for 1st in our final game of E District.
Look, you're getting Nox with the longbow. That'll be points if you can get the full. Now, something that she's going to do is she's going to extend out of that safety net of the building to make sure that we get that elimination. One more bullet will grab the knock onto that, but you got to be aware of all of the angles. Plus, you're a solo, right? And knowing that in this format, you have to, oh no, not the 1v1, pulls the L-Star, just a little too late there. Unfortunate, because this mode is based on placement, and they go out in 10.
Unfortunate there. KP for those L-Star users. But if not, you're not rocking a longbow. You're just working, like you said, Tiff, on placement. So trying to survive. That is not that many points here coming in 9th. 8th place either. You start to get 5 points when you get top 5, and then it increases from there. 4th gives you 6, 3rd gives you 7, 2nd gives you 9, and 1st place gives you 12. So really, when you get to that top 5, you can start to count your points, get a little excited about it, but that's going to be another eliminated team right there, and to an L-Star as the Wraith comes over on top. It's Team Kristep. Looking to make another step as Avali, Reptar, and Flat still alive, looking pretty good with L-Stars and 480 ammo. Not going to worry about, not having enough, but that's thanks to Loba.
Stop, that is, and because the Assault Legends get an extra ammo per stack, basically, so this is how we can maybe make a play to take that overall slot on the leaderboard after map number 5, because you think back to when we had the dual P2020s, Reptar was doing the dual wield with the dual wield, so 4 total P2020s, and they had a banger game of total points. However, still not on top. LuluLuvely, though, this is the namesake of the Twitch rivals. They're making it in towards that end game, trying to just break into that top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can tell just tensions are high, and this is where, as a viewer, it's so easy to say, oh, I missed that gun shield generator, right? Could have picked that up for that L-Star. He's rocking the flatline. Greek's just, they're trying to get a W here. He wants to do it. He's with the Apex Legends Kraber Queen. Could maybe be considered the queen of Apex Legends. You think about what Lulu's done. We're playing in her 100K tournament. He's just trying to get a dub back to the home team, he feels like. So this is what it's all about. She's rocking L-Stars and longbows. Hits one big shot. Is there another in store for Lulu?
Hope so. I mean, they call her the Kraber Queen, but she's still looking good with the longbow. Definitely not afraid of the snipe. She got the 4x8, one of the better scopes, so for real. You can see her connecting a few. jumping on board. We'll check in with Emong and Selena. They're a duo here in the top 5. Someone's got an angle. They're just above him. Emong has the L-Star in hand, playing around the knockdown. Can we hold on for long? There goes the bracelet, but a bit of a misstep.
Not a chance at all. Selena will go down, and Emong will follow very shortly, it would seem. It's a good shield swap. Might just give him a little bit of hope. But is it enough as a solo player? Such a tough lobby to be in. I don't envy that position. Miracles have happened. And now let's check back in with Lulu. Going to take that Wraith portal. And we'll go inside. A little bit of chaos. Bangalore, Rolling Thunder will land. Will it hit Lulu? Yes, it will. A little bit of trouble. Doesn't want to fight this. Can't fight this. Will go down. It's just Greek to try to save it, but it's going to be so difficult with Reptar, Avely, and Flats. We said they looked good from the start, and they're looking good again from up top. I believe that was Emong who went down, but NRG, Reptar, Avely, and Flats looking like some favorites here.
Especially when you've got dual-wielding L-Stars. Reptar has an L-Star in hand, and this is just crazy. Everyone's running them, which is exactly what you need to do. It's the boosted weapons. You have high ground. You're firing from above. Now Reptar breaks out the portal for a massive play to ultimate height. Do we see a kidnap? I would have loved to see it. Instead, we re-step. We claim the high ground. We just need one more bullet. We get another squad wipe into the final battle.
My goodness, Reptar, Avely, Flats, they drop down from on high, and they look to claim the ultimate prize. It's a dub in Game 5.
Good shit.
And another team has won. Oh, you called it, Tiff? We would see a new team win in game number 5. Champion banner.
Well, there it is. Lulu on the Watson, as we anticipated, going for the Catalyst as well, and the Ash. A little bit of mobility and a lot of utility for this squad. Looking to make a big game comeback here. You know Lulu wants it in her own tournament to get into that top 10. She'll need a good game here, but certainly capable of doing it, Tiff.
Yeah, and I'm like looking at the placement, right? The prizings. If you get into the top 10 from 9th through 12th place, it looks about $4,800 for the team, which is massive here.
Awesome.
For sure. And it looks like they've elected to go Lava Siphon, so we're not going to see any Fragment, Skyhook looking for extra points from them. But what you do get is, you know, there's always a ring console on the outskirts, kind of at that main area, which allows you to get those Evo points to start leveling up towards blue quickly.
And just doing some gathering here right now. Rampage and the triple take. You know, it's funny, but when you go back to Los Angeles and you look at a team from APAC North, Reject Winity, who took first place in our overall global competition in Apex Legends, you know, they did it with a Watson and they did it with a triple take. So as much as this is random, you know, you've got some opportunities to do something that, you know, maybe some overlooked legend and weapon combinations. I think both the triple take and Watson, so solid whenever they're being used, but so often not the center piece of conversation.
You're very right. And I was thinking about, they actually ended that match point on World's Edge. So how fitting that we're locking it all in here. And Greek makes the call. I think it's Thermal. There is a ring console over in Thermal Station should they get there earlier and look for that ring 3 information and focus on that placement. Ooh, which one are we going to go with? I like the Falling Stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we rotate thermal side.
40 shots only.
Looking to rotate Thermal side, Greek is saying. We'll see how that call works out.
Yeah, I just got Nemesis instead. 40.
You know, it's such an interesting thing. So many things that you're managing as well.
Okay,
It's
so
just
like this is a GIF.
Yes, this is a
It has to be a
constantly playing GIF because, yeah, I mean, there's no way. Because look, there's no movement happening here. Yeah, it's a good point.
Fooled me.
Yeah.
Fooled
Great bait.
me.
Fooled me as well.
So did the Pred badge up in the top right. I was like, oh my God, the new season just came out. What do you mean we're already Pred, you little grinder?
Number
but
one
then it
most
says
swag.
most swag. Love that. Love that.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, that GIF's getting a lot of my eyeball attention. That's where my eyes go to when I'm watching this stream, especially when you're considering the fact that they're just kind of hiding in the bush right now. But Selena, I'm sure, high hopes for what this moment will be. They lost Emong. Can they get him back? Stuplex already far and away. And has the Ash passive as well. Can kind of hunt down, if they are still alive, the perpetrators of that horrible action against the teammate.
I'm sticking him right here.
But
Please
kind of an
tell me why I
underutilized
always
passive.
forget about that.
Yeah,
I always forget about it.
It's a really underutilized passive, and it kind of goes into the whole, should Ash be reworked? Is that, this is kind of what's part of that conversation, because you just forget about it.
But it's powerful, right? Especially if you're pulling out the recon legends and you have Ash in there. All you have to do is pull up your map. You're like, hey, this is where all the deaths on the map are occurring. Let's kind of work for that. But we talked about those hot zones. This is Skyhook, right? Split into Skyhook West, Skyhook East. We didn't delineate on the rules, so this is a great way to get points.
Absolutely. And a very big area.
It's right here.
Yanya, what a star. I was with him, like I said, like a lot of our pros this week. And, on exiting that Monday, had a chance to ride the elevator after, not winning. And they had an opportunity to win. A lot of teams had the opportunity to win. Disappointed. I mean, and I'm talking about somebody who took home near hundreds of thousands of dollars with that team collectively. What an opportunity, though, to showcase just that competitive spirit, saying that's not what I'm after. That's not what I want. I want to win. I have a feeling that stayed with him this week as he was preparing for LuluLuvely's Throwdown. They are second place right now. It may not be that same win, but Yanya, Kree-Step, and Fire Dragon on the precipice of a W here if they can get one more big game.
Need one more. They've had 2 wins, but job's not done. Still on the outside looking in, but you come on over with Madness, Legendary Dow, Giggle, running the Rampage, so we're still looking for those boosted weapons eliminations. And the comms come through. I got landed on. We're going to have to start finessing this area of Skyhook. But what better way to be on Watson? You can start fencing up those doors if someone tries to lay chase.
Bottom floor.
Very, very good, especially you have a presence. These are tougher buildings, I would say. This high ground, very, very difficult. The reason is there is only one clear way to get up here quickly. There's only one other way to get up there slowly. And so if you're talking about a Pathfinder zip, you're not talking about anything. Valkyrie Skyward Dive used to happen, not anymore. Evac Tower, you see it coming a mile away, too dangerous. It's the stairs and it's that zip line. If you fence that off, I mean, not a lot of people are going to challenge you physically in person on that spot. They know they have to move. They've taken advantage of it as long as they can. But those spots are really, really good to hold with Watson. Some of these, though, with way underneath, 2 doors as well, can be difficult. Reptar's going to have to do a lot with this Watson. Throws a defensive bombardment. That is going to hit from outside, I believe. Should have the perk to revive. Yes, will, with a little bit of health and shielding as well. So one of the things we don't get to see Gibraltar display, just displayed it right there. Easier pickups, back into the action. And going to help solidify that team in this zone. Still 20 squads left.
This is one of those must-win fights because this is your first place squad. I love this. I love Amelie. One of those comp girlies Lulu was talking about, but we're getting vocal. And that's what's really cool about these teams coming together via that snake draft. And you just can all start to kind of lead. So more of a co-IGLing situation here between Reptar and Ava.
I thought you'd said kind of one of those calm girlies, but you meant comp. I didn't hear that P.
Yeah.
Amelie is quite calm, though, and that's a good thing in a pro. One of those elements that really lets you feel like everything's under control, especially when you look at the way that she can play at times. Nothing calm about those triple take shots, especially when you're the Mad Maggie on the other side of them. Easily puts her into the dirt. Amelie with another KP, making it that much harder for teams to catch him. As we head over to Ella, who joins Lulu and Greek. They've made their way over on the other side of Thermal Station, sitting in these buildings. Backside at least knows that no one is going to be pushing them except from their northwest, potentially. But their east is clear.
I mean, with the hundreds of maybe even thousands of Apex games that Greek has watched over the past 2 years, my man better be locked on these calls for World's Edge. And you can hear, he's like, I think this one ends over here. Now, typically you'll see Watson teams look to play on kind of that outer edge, just sitting above that tunnel entry. But I do like where they've positioned themselves because it's going to be easy for them to clear out their back.
Such a great opportunity being given across the board to Apex Legends. Remember, if you're just tuning into this tournament, every single person playing is going to earn upwards of $1,000. I think the number is actually 1,500, but I don't want to overstate it in case my memory isn't correct from looking at the stat sheet this morning. But just prizing for everyone. Huge part, huge influx from Twitch Rivals into the Apex community. These streamers, these content creators on Twitch that keep the vibes going every day. When you're sitting back, throwing on your side monitor during lunch, or if it's a main feature when you're winding down in the evening. I love to see it. Apex loves to see it. And they're competing, putting on a show for all of us. So big shout outs to everyone involved.
Same with this squad here. In 6th place coming into the final map. Do you guys know how to climb that? I don't know. Put it on for us. There it is. Don't judge Clara like that. It's her main game. She's locked in the lifeline, which is typical.
6th place.
Oh.
Feel good about a squad that somehow figured out 42 points. Hopefully a little bit of friendly banter back and forth. Tifa Jesse and them on the Newcastle. 16 points. 16th place. 6th the map. Gotta get off these 6s and up. Obviously in the leaderboard. They're holding a good spot though. I mean, this could mean, you know, a 15-point game. That could jump up from 16th to 8th pretty easily.
Oh, you're not wrong. 16 squads left. 16th place with 16 points, and she's got 66 damage.
Oh
What
my
the heck?
goodness.
What the heck?
On map 6 of 6.
Oh, goodness.
With 46 players left.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
The numbers.
Somebody gift her 5 subs. She'll have 16 daily subs as well. How about that?
Oh,
goodness.
actually, run, don't walk.
What?
Quick, before someone gets killed.
Yeah, quick before we switch it off here. All right. Well, you can help Allie here on the triple take. That is looks like Clara and Velion's team that they're staring
61
at.
damage. 16 squads. I'm crying, but I do love their positioning. It makes sense for the Watson team to kind of set up shop here. Did she just scream 4 as that came through?
4.
Been watching those golf Olympics too much here. You know, I get it. I'm glued to the TV myself. It's great to see competition all around the world and truly worldly competition. Obviously, digitally, we love the fact that we allow people all over the world to compete as well in these games that we love. So we'll keep an eye on that. They're held up in that building. They want to stay there as long as possible. Remember, top 10, it's so hard in these types of lobbies. But if you do, you got a chance. That's all they're hoping for. These are those final fights. They're going to prove the difference. Steeds leading Sure 4 on the Mad Maggie and Julie Antic into it, and they're going to win in this chaos. Quick shield swap as well, Tiff, goes their way, and they'll be on. 14 squads left, and they can actually shut down this choke. Very, very late team. This is some place that, like, Design would rotate from in the zone, and so as long as they don't have anything like that, they've got a clear walk-in into zone and a lot of long range to be able to kind of build out some spots in front of them.
You know, I don't hate it. I've also seen a ton of circles bounce back towards this way. I don't think it's going to happen considering the choke point is like cut in half. But I love that they were in that battle to not be last that Wave Punk was talking about. So getting those squad wives, making it work. The swing with the Volt was quite nice. But then you jump on over to the 19th place squad. Doki Bird, Minus Tempo, and Avrelelli. Now, locking in on that Gibby. Now, you think back to where we kind of saw some of Alb's journey throughout Comp Apex. He was one of those squads that was limit testing with Gibby when Gibby was not in the meta.
And this is one of the reasons why that Mad Maggie ball and Sears Q were really two of the biggest elements that completely hard countered Gibby. That bubble used to go down and there was nothing you could do about it. But you add a riot drill, you add a huge ultimate there from Mad Maggie in the wrecking ball. You add the Sear Q going through, and at that time canceling revives. So you couldn't even revive in your own bubble, but then you're silenced as well, so you can't throw your ultimate. Gibby's had a tough run. At the end of the day, tons of counters. And so, you know, a little hopeful to see them in the mix. I love that we're getting some showcases, but yeah, one of the reasons why, you know, now it's few and far between matches we get to see Gibby on display.
Okay, deep into thermal. There goes the snare.
Ash portal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're talking about like if
On
they
the
fight at the
house,
buildings.
on the edge,
Yeah.
like, further forward, and then you just fucking.
Yeah, like Ash TP like on that, and then or like fucking on that. Ash,
Yeah, like
and
further
then
down. See where it could go. Like right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then try to
If
stick
they
a res
fight-
if they fight. Yeah.
If do not die for it though. If they can't sneak it, just. stay
Okay,
low.
so all right, so what's gonna happen is, Iman, if I can, do not take this Ash TP with me. Like you said, I'm gonna try to res. So stay here. If
Yeah, I will.
but that's just if they fight.
Don't you worry.
Oh yeah.
We're making some moves.
Let's see the play develop here. Selena's told us what is on the cards. Just a matter of execution. Oh, switch it up then. I guess we had to check in on the 5 gifted subs. Hasn't happened yet. But now
Don't
it's up
worry.
to 13 squads left. So it's okay. Not important anymore for our tabulations. Tifa is actually in a great spot right now to hold with this Newcastle wall. Noko as well. I don't know where he's been. I don't know if it's scouting up on top. Maybe in that corner, but yeah, it's going to be a very hard staircase to push.
Noko's just living. And that's all that really matters. We're just out here on the stairway, and it's good, especially if you're locked in with Mad Maggie. You've probably got a shotgun, and you're making sure that no one's going to try to siege your building. Because as the circle collapses, think of the teams that we saw trying to move in from that choke point on the outskirts towards the northwest. Teams like Deeds, right? Picking up eliminations, but maybe haven't found a place to play from just yet. And we knew that that squad was trying to Ash portal up to the top and gain access to the respawn beacon.
You're absolutely right. And this has kind of been a cornerstone of not just the lobby, but how things have been able to develop for the teams underneath this exact sight line right there. And those trying to approach, obviously, one of the 2 buildings where this often ends. It is going to pull, though, however, towards the center of Thermal Station. So there's going to be some movement happening from Tifa's team. There's going to be some movement happening right here. You can see Nyamoka as well has been sharing the building. No, not next to it, but at least, as you can see, with vantage point over to where they want to start moving. They've got to go past this all the way towards the other side. So it's going to be a difficult transition. Really not a lot of movement with the Gibraltar and the Watson. They're going to have to walk it.
And we do. We get a running start towards it, straight up to the donut building. We're not in just yet. We are getting a hard
Yeah, it's a hard pull.
thermal zone, but okay, Noko, get vocal. Watch the jump downs. Let the Hemlock just absolutely rip through them. Force that bubble. And now you throw the ball. The nemesis you were talking about. Here it is. PK in hand. The dance. Can we connect around the Newcastle wall? We're swinging. We pump for 66, and we go even further.
Huge shots from Noko. Won't get it done in time, though, and that is so strange. That Maggie Wrecking Ball misses, but the mobile shield, the rest from the Newcastle, and the gold battery, maybe, yes, maybe, just enough. He gets a shield swap. It truly wasn't, a gold knockdown, so it wasn't going to get any extra health on that heal. And when he rezzed, on that res. But look at this. They're still alive, and that's the most important part. Avely, Flats, Reptar, we knew they had a big walk ahead of them. Are they going to finish it off here? They're going to need to sprint out of this one. And it seems like one is already running, retreating. Flat's still alive. 2v1, that'll be the end of Avely and squad. Our first place team goes down to Johnny Price and Nyamoka, who are in 4th place. Still so many points left to get, Tiff, if they're going to actually take first, but they go down right away.
Look, we had north of 10 teams as this circle was collapsing and down to at least 7.
Wow.
But the observers, we jump on board with squad after squad, and it's just getting wiped all over, down to 6. Chief, they've won a game before. Map number 4. Looking to take 2 of the 6 if they can.
Yeah, that's going to put you, I would imagine, if you can get 2 of 6, you should be close to top 5.
If you can break that.
And, we've had some incredibly successful teams, but it's been pretty varied also. And that's a big shout out to the draft. Big shout out to the players. Chief on the Gibraltar. If that Mad Maggie now was in the lobby, would be difficult. But we've seen a couple Mad Maggies go out. Is there another one? I'm not sure. That immediately ups the value of the Gibraltar. But as I say it, we go over to Reps, Clara, At Work, and Velion, who are in such a great position I mean, they're behind this wall. Nobody behind them. They've got this pylon, Tiff. They're sitting pretty.
They really are, and it would be a nice job to see them kind of maybe take a map win here and jump into the top 5, maybe top 3. Imagine those points are incredibly close towards the top. She's got 4 assists, though, plus the alternator triple take. We knew the triple take was one of the boosted weapons. Down to the top 5. There's going to be a team up there on the high ground. But there goes the comm. They're running at us, but they don't get too close.
Triple take with the sights. Ready to go. Aimed down by Clara. This is a good spot. Confusing Cutie. We've seen some individual skill from her that's been very, very impressive. Clara gonna rotate with reps. Oh, is it seeming like our reps win here? I don't know.
It might.
I'm feeling it a little bit, Tiff. They've got still some work to do, but with the lifeline, it's going to mean instant reses when things go bad. You already see 2 fights from 2 teams going down. Should put us into a top 3, especially if these 2 teams kind of cannibalize each other here and take what could be shared and eliminate each other from the battlefield. Janie's going to try to move on. It's Timmy as well still alive, but Janie seems to be feeling the pressure from the riot drill, and that's from reps, Tiff.
And we don't get enough time to be able to get this off. It takes 5 seconds to pop a bat, 8 for a med kit, so you're out of a fight for about 20 seconds. Timmy looks for a swing, and that shield is not going to protect you, especially when they're flanking you from the side. We knew that Reps' squad was on the other side. A squad wipe down to the final 2. Reps down. Clara and Velian going to have to clutch this one up.
Trying to do it, Clara at work, trying to go to work. Will they find the kill? Velian also, there's that tap from the lifeline. Could that be the difference there? Ducks trying to find it, and will they get the win? They will! Oh my goodness! Baby Ducks with the squad, and Abe and Vaxlon take the final W.